Getting into everything, the group of you have set out from Elderthorn and been traveling for a few days' time over the plains that lie to the north of the Pinwood, the inner part of the southern continent of Aquan. A real sort of wild heartland that is the major part of Droucia. You're headed towards the Orc tribe that is supposed to be nestled, maybe usually not this late in spring, but at least start there, in the headwaters of the Sanguine River. As you make your way there, you saw a sort of outcropping of smoke trickling its way up into the sky before dissipating, and decided to investigate. You found a tended bonfire of good size, 7-8 feet across, quite large, and a collection of number of backpacks, all laid up nicely in a row near a rocky chunk of the land. You looked around some and tried to figure out where the people were that were tending this camp. And as you ventured into it properly, the troll that was disguised, thanks to an item you later acquired, as part of the natural landscape, gave way and assailed the prey it thought it had trapped, and almost did, if not for the repertoire of utility that the group of you were able to bring to bear against it. Eventually, you slew the beast, preventing its regenerative nature with a luckily found source of necrotic damage on the part of Willem. And exhausted, you've started to rest and recuperate. Investigating the packs, you discovered most of the supplies within were long since rotted or destroyed by age. It's clearly the troll equivalent of being a trapdoor spider, luring in travelers and adding their remains to the trap to bait others. You did find a item of particular value on the troll, a fantastic belt that allows you to cast the Barkskin spell without requiring concentration on yourself. And while the spell once a day, and while it persists, you get the benefits of the Pass Without Trace spell while hiding in a natural environment. And the group of you camped to take your rest for the evening. A heated discussion over who the belt should go to, who would benefit from it, was had. Willem felt that they contributed admirably during the fight, and it would be good for him, but the belt would be good for a lot of people as well. And this was something Aeolus chose to point out in a very untactful way. At which point Willem, in lieu of better terms, sort of stormed off. And we pick up
that was
now.
the drama.
And good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Ah, there he is.
Fantastic. And
Yeah, I gotta
we
fix
hear a lovely
during the-
voice.
so we pick up now as Willem has stormed off. The rest, we'll say, the rest is tending camp and getting the fire going and keeping it going. As the group of you stand around, is anyone going after Willem?
I think Dannen would. Hold on, Willem, it's dangerous out here. Wait up.
I think at that point you'd probably just see the equivalent of Willem casting Misty Step on themselves and
See Willem
going further.
teleport 30 feet away from you. Just
Why you're so stubborn?
wandering off to. Will it make me a survival check?
Yep. Sorry, just getting everything up and loaded.
Oh, good. Uh, 12. Heading off vaguely in a southern direction. You hear Dunnan calling after you. His voice is getting fainter as you're spending your remaining spell slots.
That's fair. Willem will do their best job at disappearing.
Make me a stealth check.
Will I roll for perception?
You certainly may. You see Willem is going in between parts of the landscape, some of the few rocky outcroppings. You're able to track them. Well
Stop,
enough.
William. Storming off won't solve anything. Let's talk about this. I shout.
Roll me a just a d20. Done.
Mhm.
Two. Okay. Continue this pursuit for a couple minutes. At which point your foot kicks over something on the ground. You see a pile of things. The bag of holding Willem was carrying, and the insignia patch that is the Bloody Mad Dog's has been placed upon it. It's not attached to it. It's laid on top of it.
And do we still see him?
Yeah. Getting
Okay.
faint. Light has started to go down. You'll probably lose sight within the next.
Yeah. Can I
10
call
minutes.
over my steed? Is it? It should be close by now.
Yeah, it's back at the camp.
Willem, stop this! Why are you running away? You're gonna get eaten by some terrible things. I don't want to go back to your family and report that you have gotten eaten because you're stormed off being a spoiled child. I more stay loudly to myself than shouting. But I stop pursuing.
You start pursuing or stop?
Now stop. I pick
Stop.
up the bag of holding and the
Your steed
the
has caught
badge.
up to you.
Yeah.
You're not that fast compared to it.
How far away am I from the camp?
200 feet ish.
I take note of the direction Willem went and jog back, or on horseback, or on dogback, back to the camp and report to the others. Willem is stormed off and I point into the direction. I don't know what got into his head, but we better pursue him or something terrible will happen to him.
I also stand. he'll put his pack down. Stay with the camp. And I'll head off in the direction that Dunnan motioned to.
Okay. Make me a survival check.
And I get off my the bloody pup and here take him with you. He might be of help. And I order this steed to help Aeolus pick up the trail of Willem.
Okay. Aeolus, do you have dark vision?
Yeah.
Okay. You set off.
Just one more thing, sorry, Span. And I let the dog sniff the badge, so it has William's scent. Maybe
Noted.
that helps.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you drop a find steed in chat? I believe you can communicate with it telepathically up to
Yeah,
a
over
mile.
1 mile. Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yes. Wait, I'll just drop it in. I think it's a mastiff
Well, you see,
stat
within
block.
1 mile of you can communicate with each other telepathically. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
So like, is this like is this like a Elder Scrolls style common?
This is like a Great Dane style sized dog. You cannot ride this. But
Oh no,
with
no.
you. Yeah.
I mean like as far as like, is it corporeal? Is it like?
Oh, it is a creature. It is a physical creature. It's not like Corwin, who
Okay.
is semi-incorporeal and partially translucent and only some percentage opaque. Like this
Okay.
dog makes a shadow, a full shadow.
All right.
If that helps.
Yeah. That's.
It's just Fae. Or
Celestial, I think.
celestial, yeah. Yeah, I think it's celestial. Okay, you set off them. Alex, go ahead and give me another survival check for the dog assisting you, because Dunnan did that. Okay. Progression while tracking is inherently slower than rushing off and blazing a trail, but it's reliable. A few times over the course of the next hour, you lose the trail. Make me an say history or arcana check, your choice. Eolus.
We'll go history.
Okay. A few times during that period, you do lose the trail significantly until the dog starts doing like wide circles and sort of rotating, doing this tracking. You cover a few miles, done in the connection to the steed fades after a little bit. But the Mastiff doing these wide circles does eventually actually find Willem's scent. As you realize he's been using his magics to try to obfuscate his trail. You continue to pursue at about the third time after you found this same sort of course of action. Okay. You go long into the night. You will not get a long rest.
Yep, I'm used to it.
Yep. Willem, you will also not get a long rest.
What? Nah. I'm not.
You proceed
Noted.
for you, you're aware of your compatriots' abilities. Your heading is haphazard. You wander for hours, you're not quite sure, you just feel that the direction you've chosen is the right one for whatever reason. Eventually you find what appears to be a collection of ruins. And it looks like part of a floor that was ground level has collapsed in slightly. And revealed sort of the cellar of whatever this stone structure was at one point. Heavily overgrown and begun to be reclaimed. Not begun. Well reclaimed by the land at this point. There's grasses and tufts growing all over. Most of the walls are toppled. There's a hint of a roof in maybe 2 still standing arches of doorways. It's no telling how tall the structure once was, but it's decently wide. Noted. As you sort of stumble into the structure, looking around, you go down into the cellar. It's open, and find the remains of what at one point was probably a campfire. See, would you relight it?
I would not. I am clearly trying to get away.
You spend time here. The wind is whipping across the plains above, and you're sheltered here in the cellar basement. And on the wind-tossed landscape above you, it almost gives this gentle breeze sensation that blows in and out of the cellar every few seconds. It's calming, peaceful, by comparison. Do you do anything during this time as you finally sit down and rest? Your feet are killing you. Mark a level of exhaustion, please.
Yeah, totally. As you'd mentioned earlier, I feel like I have a pretty good idea of the capacity of the party, so I would be doing everything in my power to kind of not so much blockade, but hide myself using all my spells available.
Okay.
Make a burrow.
Make me. The structure around you is stone. Make me an investigation check, please. You're unable to find sort of areas where dirt is exposed that you could sort of burrow deeper into, like a rabbit going to ground from a fox chasing it. But you do find a second room of the cellar after a little bit of work. And it's darker than you expect. Even for you who is gifted with the ability to see reasonably passively in virtually no light, it still feels dark even to you as you gaze into it. Can't see the far wall. The floor just goes and then disappears before you. And there's a cold coming from this room. A chill. Every time the air sort of shifts in and out of the cellar around you, part of the air that rushes in there and then comes back out has almost like a frost to it. You can see your breath before your eyes. You could try.
I think that's what I would do. I would use my sorcery points to do so it gives me that better view down there.
You still have sorcery points remaining?
I do.
Okay.
I have not used any of them yet.
Alright. So, you throw the darkness spell into this space ahead of you, trying to bring it in line with what you're accustomed to be able to see. And you feel the overlay on this space. You know that your spell took hold. Still nothing. It's just an ominous archway. You see about 20 feet in still. And then the floor just disappears and fades to black on the far beyond that. Same with the walls and the ceiling.
Okay.
The room looks vaguely, based on where you stand, slightly curved, maybe an oval, maybe a circle, or maybe it's just a rounded edge and then straight walls all the way down. It's tough to tell, but it just proceeds into nothingness.
Description-wise, I feel like this sounds like where Willem initially found the book that granted him his powers, and probably feel comforted in there, despite there probably being something bad. Would probably settle down and do the equivalent of meditating in it.
Yeah, you crawl in. Not crawl, but take a few steps in. Sit on the wall facing this darkness. You're facing away from the main entrance to the cellar, but you're facing what feels familiar. Presently, your spell ends, and it's not much of a visible change to you. There's something calming and off-putting. It feels familiar and yet alien. Like a friend you've known for years, but then fell out of contact with, only to reconnect decades later, and they're still the same person, but there's a difference here. You can't place it. As you contemplate on this, make me a Constitution save, please. You're good. You stay conscious for a number of hours. Aeolus. Your camp was set up about an hour before sunset when everything started to happen. You pursue him for a few hours. Takes you until about 2 a.m. Many long hours and several miles. Until you find the dog once again tracks the smell to these ruins I've previously described. As it gets there, you can see the sort of hair on the back of its neck and around its form sort of rise up, almost like a creature that's unsettled by something in the space. It sits at the edge, but it's not moving into the ruined structure. The footprint of the ruined structure whatsoever.
I will walk next to it.
Walk next to it. You give a sniff to the air. You don't know what the dog's doing, but it's sitting. It's not. It cannot be ushered forward anymore. Make me a perception check.
At this point, I should have a point of exhaustion, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You don't see any footprints. A lot of the dirt nearby has been destroyed, but over time there's no grasses approaching this space. It looks like it might have been trampled down or sorry, my cat was attacking the screen. There's not too many grasses, but you don't see any footprints or any indication that there's anything here. You look inside the ruined walls that some don't stand nary over 4 feet in height anymore, as they've toppled and crumbled over the decades and maybe centuries. You see ruins of wood that's been overgrown by moss, grasses that are whipping as the wind picks up in gusts here and there. It's about 3 a.m. The stars are out.
I will take my great spear and will use it as a point of contact to like as like if I were to round one of the ruined walls, I'll tap the great spear on the ground ahead of me just to see if anything reacts
Okay.
as I call out.
Noted. You call out. Your voice carries on the wind as you start working along. Are you entering the ruin? And using your spear to track along, and you're tapping on the stone floor, as you walk through.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll
Just want to make sure I was clear on that.
And before I enter, I'll turn and I'll pet Tunnen's bloodhound steed. And I'll thank you. But if you are freaked out by something, I'd hate for Tunnen to lose you. So just take a few paces back if you can understand. And I'll use my blood hunter tracking for
Sure.
the rest of the ruins.
Okay. You proceed in. You follow a path. Make me a history check, please. I would say you have advantage on this, so it's gonna be a straight roll. With your exhaustion. Okay. You're not sure what this ruin once was. It's strange, unsettling. You make it to what you think might be a medium-sized room, and you see a large stone slab that's on its side. Maybe a table, maybe part of a wall at some point, maybe part of a ceiling. And you see a cracked open pit in the ground. Part of a undercroft. Maybe a old family tomb. You're not sure what it is. It doesn't look like this was meant to be the entrance to whatever this space is. This thing that had fallen had cracked open part of the floor and revealed the space beneath it.
I will try to use the great spear to see if I can open it wider. If there's any reason for me to investigate this spot.
You step in. Can you roll me a wisdom saving throw, please?
Sure, Sam.
Okay. You're racked by an extremely disconcerting wave of fear. It washes over you like ice water rushing through your veins. You can feel your heartbeat immediately spike as this surge of cold is followed by the heat of adrenaline. Something unsettling about this underground section as you take step after step. Willem, while you're meditating, you hear sounds. Something dragging at across stone every now and then. Tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap. Like fingernails of some taloned hand slowly stalking into the space which you now inhabit. How do you react?
I think I would just remain still and quiet.
Okay.
Still probably somewhat in a trance, but trying to listen while, gaining whatever insight I will from this wonderful
Sure.
space.
About 10 minutes of you creeping along, Aeolus. No more than a few feet every minute. Every step is difficult. You find an archway that's got a pointed apex that opens to just vacuous void on the far side. So you get closer, you see a pair of boots. And a leg.
Hello.
Hmm.
Is that you?
You rush as much as you can at the moment around the corner. Willem, as you're focusing on this darkness, your vision fades deep ahead of you. Trying to push your conscious thought to there instead of focusing on this, at this point, annoying noise has been going on for several minutes. Whatever wild animal has chosen to also make this their den. Yeah. If it likes it and you like it, probably get along. As you push your consciousness further, you feel a hunger sort of settle into you. Makes you wonder, when was the last time you ate a good, hearty meal? However long ago, it was too long. You feel a very present hunger that sort of settles into you. As you're just focusing on the space, it gets to be annoying how present this is, how much it draws your attention back to your body over and over again as you're trying to focus on this meditation. So the creature that's been sort of stalking through this space sort of grabs you, and you jolt for a moment, and you see Aeolus's face. Hunger's gone. A moment later. Aeolus, you shook Willem out of some type of reverie that he had going on.
No. If I had to walk this long, you're not sleeping.
Next to Willem is a pile with a piece of cloth draped over it. Doesn't look to be Willem's.
Is the presence of fear still washing over me?
It's not a continuous sort of like flow. It's a ever-present companion to you.
Okay.
Willem, you feel quite comfortable though. Now that that hunger's gone, feel good. Tired, but good.
Why did you disturb me? I was almost one with the darkness.
We will touch on that later. What's that over there?
What?
You see where he's
Right.
gesturing. Something you didn't pick up on initially, Willem. In the corner, off to your corner-ish, about 5 to 8 feet to your side from where you sat down, is a pile of rags, haphazard shapes of something underneath it. You're not sure.
Uncertain.
So it's not yours. Was it here when you entered?
There was only the darkness and me, and some other creature that lived here.
Right. Again, we'll touch on that when we're back with the rest of the group. And I'll walk over to the pile of rags and use my spear to disturb whatever it is.
Okay. Need 2 things from you. First, I need a Constitution save.
Let's go, my favorite thing in the world. Wah wah.
You vomit a little
Wah,
bit in
wah,
your
wah.
mouth as you disturb it, and the rank smell overcomes you. Secondly, I need a medicine check, please. Okay, even with disadvantage. You pull out, you sort of use the tip of the spear and just sort of yank the rags to the side. You see a pile, not more than maybe 1.5 feet in diameter. Bones. Good-sized bones. And some small bones. Broken. Snapped in half. No pieces whole. They're all splintered, crushed, snapped, broken. The only thing that's missing is a skull. But you recognize these are the bones of some type of humanoid. Of what race, you know not.
Grab your things, and we are going back up topside.
No, I am quite comfortable here. I have prepared this document for the group. If
That
you need
wasn't
help,
a request.
you may take this and deliver it to Elspeth. Here you go.
I'll walk over. I'll look Willem in the eyes. I said stand up.
No, this space is quite calming, quite perfect. I think the party would be better without me. You may activate my sister, the first among the numbers, Elspeth.
Listen, I don't understand the things you're rambling about, but the little temper tantrum back there over spoils of a fight, is that how you think your parents acted when they went on their adventures?
I am quite uncertain. I know only that they survived their adventures and have thrived.
Yes, they survived because they found people to adventure with.
Yes, well,
So, you have the rest of the group that you have gotten along quite well with.
we though. I have always felt that I have been holding the party back.
Well, if we're going
Well,
to talk about holding
among
the party,
adults.
it wasn't you that was holding the party back. So grab your things. Let's go topside. Because I don't want to leave Tunnen's furry friend out there too long.
So I don't know what Willem would do at this point. I think he would be very drawn to this space, and I don't know how willingly he would have left.
Make
So-
me a... Make me an intelligence or wisdom check. A straight ability score. Your choice.
Intelligence or wisdom?
There's something familiar about the space. Something that feels like an old friend. But it's not quite right. You're not sure if this is the place or a similar place. But something Aeolus just said sort of sticks in your mind of he doesn't think you're the person holding the party back. Makes you think for a moment.
Guess it's so comfortable, but I don't know if it is the same darkness or a new one. I'm conflicted. Who then holds back the party?
Well, we could talk about that once we head topside and have ample space to talk next and not being next to that.
You see and observe the bones that Aeolus uncovered.
I think Willem would probably pull out this small splinter of bones of one of the bones and pocket it, and then ultimately come above.
Okay. You come above. There's maybe an hour or two and still sunrise, still. The wind's died down some. There's still a very noticeable chill in the air. But there's no precipitation. The skies started to lighten just barely on the eastern horizon. As you don't have Thornridge Bluffs to your east anymore, obfuscating the early morning light. Usually it's well into morning by the time you get the sky to lighten in Elderthorn. It's a different type of morning.
Oh. Now that we're away from the creepy shards of humanoid, why'd you run off?
Of no illness, until you leave the ruins, that sort of unsettling feeling still lingers with you. It weakens, but lingers.
Okay. Am I able to understand that it strengthens the further down that I went?
Yeah, you recognize that the underground was deeply unsettling to you.
Okay.
There was no strength beyond that you could notice, but getting out from underground makes it a little bit better. Getting out of the ruins, it finally fades.
Okay.
But it's not
So
like a
what's-
step-down system of like 10 to 9 to 8 to 7. It's not like that.
Okay. Alright.
It's like a low, medium, hot, or medium, high, off. It's a crock pot. Okay.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
We're cooking darkness.
Yeah.
No! This isn't the character to cook darkness. Aeolus will
Yes, magic missile of the darkness.
So, why did you run off? Is it because of the belt? Is it because of what I said?
It's because of the rift that I caused being part of the group. It is explained within the midst of it is not just what you said, but what the party considers of me. It is what everybody has said. Belt
Hello.
is just a material item.
If the party didn't want you with them, Tanin, Siegfried, and Hellerest wouldn't be your friends.
Those, I think only Dunny cares. But that
Really?
matters not.
Because I've seen Hellerest and Siegfried take steps to protect you. You
No,
have
especially
plenty
that.
of siblings. Do you always get along with all of your siblings?
We never get along. It is part of our training, though.
Okay. Well, I have news for you. Traveling companions, friends, you never always get along with them either. There will be times where you will fight, argue, have petty squabbles over who gets to keep what shiny thing. As long as you understand that you and your friends have to function as one, is the only way you'll be able to experience what your parents have. And that's successful travels and growing old and being able to retire from traveling.
I think when you said what my parents had, you probably would have seen the grossed out look of any child thinking about their parents having sex. But other than that, Willem probably would have just remained silent and followed along with you.
I'll reach underneath my coat and I'll pull out 2 otter skins. And I'll throw one over to Willem. I wouldn't drink that too fast. That's not water. And I'll take a sip from my water skin.
Would probably take a gulp.
It is alcohol.
Burns a little bit to you, Willem.
Listen, if you're looking for an apology, or if you think you're gonna get one, I don't apologize. Ask Siegfried. I'm too hard-headed to apologize.
Why would I expect an apology for what I have done?
Was it your fault that I yelled at you?
Was it your fault that I wanted the belt? That I am more eccentric than the party can deal with?
If you were more eccentric than the party could deal with, Dunnan and I wouldn't have looked for you. And Aeolus will pull the ring off and will stand up and will walk over to Willem. You want spoils? Here. what you have to understand is that not everything that is found it's not as clear as when the sun shines versus when the moonlight falls as who it will benefit more. What the benefits of adventuring and traveling is that if you or Siegfried or Dunnan or even Hellerest acquire an item that has ties to magic, just because one person holds it, it strengthens all of you. It strengthens the unit.
I think Willem probably would have accepted the ring, but would have been getting probably pretty tipsy by now. And I don't know how well
one
they would
good
have understood
swing.
that.
Yeah, one good swig and you're nice and flushed in the face.
Cool.
Fire in your belly.
I will take that water skin back.
He probably has a bit to unpack in the future.
Willem, I'm not going to sit here and to go on a rant about how, or to convince you to come back. But you have a home. And you set out from that home to adventure. And whatever the fuck that is, and he'll motion back to where they walked from, that is not to be tackled by one person by themselves. That is something that you put a pin in. You mark it. And when you and the rest of your bloody mad dogs have free time, you come back and you tackle it. You venture deeper into your darkness so that you can become one. Whatever that means. Still creepy though.
It's so comfy in there.
I can't imagine why.
It felt so good, like a nice warm bed.
Well,
Probably said as Willem stumbling back towards the campgrounds.
I will
mean-
help. I will help Willem, if able to lead him over to Dunnan's speed, and we'll start to make our trek back towards the camp, trying to lead him away from the ruins.
Okay.
As best as I can, I will try to track where this is.
Roll me a survival check. Straight roll. So the pump will still help. 27. Nice. Takes you until early morning. About 9 a.m. Which is a good number of hours. To slowly make your way back. While this has been going on over the course of the night, Siegfried, Dunnan, how do you pass your evening?
Dana will probably just pace up and down and just rant. What's that lad thinking? Running off alone.
Yeah,
So hot-headed.
I regret what I said. I talked to him like I'd speak to one of my siblings instead of a comrade. I lost my temper. You know how dwarves are.
Yeah, I know damn well how dwarves are. Weiß mir, wordt ziek. God.
I I just wanted to explain to him this belt. It'll help me when I go into become Apefreed and Wolffreed. I'd be able to help you more on the front line. But
I think
instead, I just yelled at him. I
he
regret
was
it.
just too short-sighted in the moment. I mean, we could talk it through. It's not like it's not proper way to storm off. That doesn't solve anything, and that's pretty rich coming from me, as a dwarf, being stubborn and all. I just hope he's okay.
Yeah, I think we need to start understanding that Willem, there's a calling affecting him, different than the rest of us.
You mean those dreams he has?
I mean, it's obvious he's been touched by something.
Mm.
I think that might have something to do with it. He helps us, and I'm glad he's here. His magic is scary, but it saves my life many times over. But I'm afraid where it might lead him.
We have to have a closer look at him from now on and take.
At the very least, I think we're the only ones watching his back for the moment.
Yeah. True. And do we see them approaching by now?
Well, no, you rest. You
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't
Right.
see him until the morning.
Okay, it's in
Yeah.
evening. Okay.
Well, I guess we better just try and keep watch. If Aeolus is looking for him, he won't come back without him. The real problem is if Aeolus doesn't come back.
Oh boy. Moradin's breath, I hope they both come back healthy.
Before we turn in for a long rest, Siegfried would try and step away from the fire a little bit, like maybe on to one of like the stones that this circle is, and he would try and affix a kami charm, and then just do a prayer and say, please help Aeolus and Willem find their way back without too much trouble.
Sure. Roll me a religion check.
I think my roll 20 is going really slow for some reason. There, okay.
It can't handle the puppy.
It was 19.
19. Nice. Okay, noted. You lay upon some of the stones that you found that are nearby that aren't quite as tall. Make you a small offering. And you retire. You take shifts watching. There's no disturbance. Morning comes. You have a vastly unpleasant breakfast of bland rations, since your chef is not here.
Damn that Willem. Roddy cranky.
He has the whiskey with him too. I'm sorry,
Yes.
Donna.
Oh boy, he's gonna get an earful when he comes back.
Wait, hold on. He doesn't. Willem picked up the.
You're not there to remind. You're not there to remind them about that.
Oh, it's in the bag of holding. Whoever has the bag of holding.
Yeah.
Danan is too agitated for that to remember.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
It's right next to them the entire morning. They just don't realize it.
I mean, Siegfried doesn't really drink, so he doesn't know. He doesn't know what the system is.
You're slow in packing up camp. As you've gotten everything going, eventually you do see their forms appear on the horizon. Still about 10 minutes until they get close to you. Your dog, Dunnan, just sort of bounds up to you, licks your face a little bit, and then goes and flops over on the ground to nap.
Boy. And I run over to meet them in the middle.
Sure.
But they're blazing.
Make me an insight check.
Inside.
Would it be with advantage for Dunnan since he's always drunk?
I'll wait out.
You can tell they both look haggard as hell. About 2 hours into your journey, also Aeolus of note, the coldness in the air dissipated. That chill, that bite that was present, eventually subsided.
A blazing Allfather, where have you been the whole night? Wait a second. Is it booze I'm smelling? Did you find a tavern and partied all night? While we were sick?
Done. I found the most comfortable place. Like Willem would probably be like putting his hand on like Dunnan's shoulder. It was so nice.
Alright. Time for some explaining, Aeolus.
He has one sip. He's a lush.
One sip 6 hours ago, and a hike. Still drunk.
Yeah.
No, he's definitely a mess.
You had fun, Willem, huh? You cooled off?
Yeah. I
You
was,
lost something, and I'll take the badge and put it on his chest and say, "Don't you ever lose it again, lad. Don't wanna go back to your parents and tell them you got eaten by some random animal. Got the responsibility for you. Don't you
it
forget
wouldn't be
that.
the first child to die. I wasn't the
Uh,
first named one.
Not under my watch, Willem.
Elspeth would be so. You'd see. And probably would be like passing out by now.
Boy. He's a mess. Oh boy. And he's gonna regret his choices in a few hours, but well,
Just
that's
throw
what
him
you
on
get
the-
for storming off.
Can your steed carry him for a little bit?
I think you can. You think Willem is light enough for that?
Probably light enough for you, yeah.
Yeah.
Not compared to you.
Oh, so I'll just
Willem
put
doesn't
him
wear
on the.
armor really or weapons either.
Mm.
He
I
just
have
has
no
a-
idea how he's still intoxicated.
Oh, he's a lightweight, Aeolus. What did you expect? And he's young.
Well,
But
did
so
you give him to him from the rum cast or your personal stash, Aeolus?
you have a
From
rum
the-
stash?
From the personal stash. I didn't see the bag on. Please tell me that the bag wasn't in that creepy fucking basement.
Oh no. Oh, bad bag.
Alarast just holds it up. It's right here.
Oh, thank God.
All the rum's in this.
Well, I mean,
Right.
the last time I drank with a blood hunter, I lost like 2 weeks of memory.
Sounds like a fun night. Or fun 2
There-
weeks.
There are reasons I do not drink.
But you have a personal stash. There must be a reason
Willem
for
would
that.
Willem would not have come back with me if it wasn't for this.
Well, that was smart thinking, Aeolus. There's a reason you're the commanding officer.
Well, it would be draped over the saddle. Like,
I,
Sideways.
we can head over. Yeah, exactly.
And then I'll
Just
sort
yelling, we.
I'll sort of present the troll belt to the group and be like, I know we haven't discussed this and Willem is still out of sorts, but I was hoping I could take it because it would help me with my wild shape. But if Willem wants it, he can take it. He's a valuable
He'll
member.
be fine.
Yeah, out of character. Definitely take it.
It's all yours. But the next time that we're all sitting down for camp, there has to be a group discussion.
Oh, absolutely. Now, what the nine hells happened? Where were you? You were gone all night.
Do you fill them in, Aeolus?
Yes.
Do you leave anything out?
I do not. Well, no. Yes, I leave out the fact that Willem was sitting there comfortably.
Okay.
As you thought, Siegfried, something is, or I don't know, something is influencing Willem. It seems,
I don't
or
think it's
tempting him.
influence. And Aeolus will hook to the sagging form of Willem.
He's be on a short rest as he gently dozes.
When there's an opportunity, an investigation of that space, it was unsettling, to say the least.
Well, my understanding of the arcane arts is limited. That's one of the reasons why I've been so hell-bent on uncovering the Badiana's research, but generally the way magic works is that the magic has to come from somewhere. I mean, Dunnan, I assume your magic comes from your years of martial practice and your traditions.
My prowess, yes,
Your
and probably some of drinking, but I'm unsure.
and then Heliras,
Oath of the Drunk.
and then from what I understand, Heliras magic comes from the traditions of her people. My magic comes from the nature around me. It makes sense that Willem's magic has to come from somewhere as well.
You said you felt right at home there and you were creeped out. Aeolus?
Aeolus, roll me a... Roll me an intelligence and a wisdom check, please. Just straight rolls.
Oh. Aeolus will... I'll look up in the sky. Honestly,
You do not know, Aeolus. Maybe.
it...
It didn't come... The thought didn't come to you at the time.
Okay. Honestly, it just scratched me the wrong way in maybe a few things that we've been dealing with. But then again, with a cult worshipping a crab monster, a multi-eyed raven, and the creatures we've been handling, anything of that sort would leave a person on edge.
Oh,
I pray to the spirits that that isn't what Willem is drawing his power from.
the feeling you're describing sounds familiar. It's like that feeling I experienced in the mine, where I couldn't go further without the blindfold.
It spooked your bloody pup. It would not move within the ruins that we found.
Well, I give it the order to pursue. I don't know how well that extends to going into some creepy place, but well, must have had a bad feeling about that ruin if you said didn't want to move.
It
Just
definitely made all the
Siegfried,
hairs
give me a d20 roll.
all the hairs stand on edge.
We should better go around that place because I don't want.
Siegfried would also just say, as much as
Oh my
I'm
God, there's a lot of ones going on.
Yeah.
as much as I'm loath to speak of Willem this way, but if this whatever energy that seems to be nipping at our heels in all these conflicts, if Willem has a connection to it, or is being influenced by it, or somehow is connected to the same power that our enemies are using, it could give us an advantage that no one else in Elderthorn has.
It could. He is strong. He just needs to understand what adventuring entails.
As you have this conversation getting underway, and continues, the day's travel is relatively comfortable. The sky grows overcast about noon, a few hours after you set out, continuing east towards the river deltas. About 3 in the afternoon, Hellerast would point out the form on the horizon, a few hundred yards to the north of you, of one of the deer that you've seen previously. Just sort of watching your progress. It's clocked you. It knows there's things in that space as you walk by. It's the first bit of wildlife that you've seen in a while. Other than that, your day is comfortable. You find a place to rest. Siegfried, you understand with Druidcraft, the weather is going to be clear for the evening.
Okay.
It'll still be overcast, but not raining or anything. That would make camping a chore.
Okay. I guess I would just try and maybe find a spot where, if it's going to be clear tonight, where our campfire might not be seen from miles away.
Sure. Give me a survival or investigation check.
Okay. I will do a bunch of things before I do that. I will enhance ability, my wisdom, and also go into dragon form.
Sure.
And I will do a survival check. Because Siegfried is spooked after leaving that last spot.
Pretty good. Pretty good. You find an admirable camping location for the group of you. You're able to set up tents and a few tarps just in case any rain does pick up just randomly, and such that it would shield most of the light. You're on mostly an open plain, and an exposed flame will carry for a while. But there's sufficient materials nearby that you can actually build a few heat walls where you're stacking logs and bundles of thresh grasses together, such that first it angles the heat of the fire towards where the group of you are sleeping, which makes it a much more comfortable evening. As there is a very present chill once the sun goes down. Almost like you're pushing back into winter, even though you're late in spring at this point. But the angled heat helps make it a very comfortable evening. Secondly, it also shields the fire from about 120 degrees of the circumference, so you feel a little bit safer having that protection. And there's nothing behind you that the light would be reflected off of, other than the grasses themselves. With the overcast sky, you feel quite confident. Very few people would even be able to pick out even the smoke from the fire. It's a good evening. You rest, recuperate. All of you can undo your exhaustion, those of you who have it. The next day comes to you. Denon, I need a d20 roll, please.
Sure.
12. The progress over the course of the day is good. The sky continues to be overcast. The clouds have gotten a little bit darker. and you wouldn't be surprised if there was a storm coming sometime in the next day or so. But the miles fall away underfoot. About noon, you come to a river. You know that this is one of the first few numbers of tributary rivers to the Sanguine, tributary sources of the Sanguine River. And this is one of the ones that you need to cross to be able to reach the winter grounds of the Skyfire clan. However, the river's about 50 feet across. Are you going to try to ford it, or do you have another way that you wanted to try to cross?
Make kind of a little raft and use shape water to kind of push it across. Is that viable?
Make me a nature check, please.
Make a nurture check.
Nurture check.
Sorry, that should be a disadvantage, so let me hit it again.
It shouldn't be. You don't have exhaustion anymore.
Oh, I apologize. I missed that.
Yep, all good.
We rested?
We'll save that natural one for your next important roll.
Oh, perfect. I'm excited for it.
Perfect. No, definitely be a charisma save for something. Now, there's some grasses nearby that could be lashed together, but there's not a lot that would be conducive to the creation of a raft such that it could carry even one of you across. But you recognize this rather quickly, Willem, that there's nothing nearby that would suit this purpose. It's a good idea. Wrong environment.
How
That's
deep
fair.
is the water right now?
It's tough to tell. So the edge where you are is relatively silty.
Okay.
It's difficult to see the bottom. You can see about 8 inches deep into the water, and it's brownish, brackish near the edges. You know it comes. This particular tributary source is up in Thornridge Bluffs. I say up; it's higher elevation in Thornridge Bluffs to the south of you. So it still has a lot of that pine and sap and acidity to it. Out in the center of the water, it transitions to a deep blue. So you suspect it's fairly deep and hasn't had the time to widen over the course of its run. It's likely deeper than it is wide, or at least as deep.
Is there any way we can secure a rope on this side?
Yeah. There's a few rocks nearby you could
Yeah.
secure a rope to. You
Well,
would need to use 2 to try to span the distance. You
yeah,
recognize that.
I
I
would get.
think I have enough.
Yeah,
like
Siegfried
100 feet.
bought 3 ropes before we left Elderthorn. But
Okay.
I would turn to Aeolus. You think you can tie a rope around a shark?
Is the shark trying to eat me?
No, I'm gonna be the shark in this situation.
Oh, okay.
You're a shark?
I can be.
Ooh.
I could try.
And
But aren't sharks in saltwater? Don't you?
I mean, I'm gonna be a magical shark.
Oh.
You don't think about it too much. I don't think 5e makes differentiations between saltwater and freshwater fish.
I don't know. Well, I'm gonna find a rollable table. See how
Yeah.
long it takes until the shark drowns.
Of course.
But before this, Siegfried wants to try out the moss hide troll belt.
Okay. Do you attune to
And
it?
he's going to try and use it to cast Mark Skin on himself first.
Noted. Okay.
So you'll see sort of Siegfried's stony skin kind of start changing into like he kind of looks like petrified wood.
You look like an ent.
Yeah. And then he'll sort of wade into the shallows of the water and he will wild shape into a reef shark.
As the form of the shark takes over, curiously, it resembles almost a piece of flotsam or driftwood that's just had mosses grow on it from being static over time. It's remarkable. If it was not moving and sort of shifting, and just stayed place, you would think it was a log just floating in the shallows, trapped by some spike it had in the mud or something.
That is fucking amazing.
And then I will just sort of like splash my tail a little bit and wait for signal Aeolus to come up and tie a rope around me.
Yep. That's
Okay.
exactly what I'll do, or I'll try to do.
Okay. Easy enough. So I need an athletics check using the shark's athletics. Let me see what a shark strength score is. Reef
Can I-
shark, right?
Chuck the shark to, I don't know, shorten the
Rope the
distance
shark?
for him to travel.
I'm gonna say no because the shark's heavy-ish.
Okay.
You said reef shark, pack tactics. It's a strength
Oh,
score of
sh-
14, so you have a +2. So roll me a d20 +2. $16. Okay. It takes you a good 10 minutes. The water's current is a decent pace, but not difficult to swim against. What really gets to you is about halfway across. The amount of rope that's been extended. There's drag from the current, and there's just the weight of this. It's about an inch thick, heavy rope that is very heavy to sort of drag you down as you go. It takes you a good amount of time to get fully across before you can shift back, grabbing some of the grasses near the edge, and the rope remains coiled around your ankle.
Seeing as the
It's-
rope is pretty heavy when I come out of the water and out of wild shape, I am going to cast enhance ability on myself.
Okay.
The one that does strength. I think
Strength,
that's
bull strength.
full strength. Yeah.
Noted. All right, fantastic. Make me an athletics check with your own score, with advantage, please. Okay. Good use of enhanced ability there. The group of you see the log sort of change into this Groot-like figure on the far side of the river. Heave this rope, soaking wet, easily tripling its weight. Not to mention the drag and tension that's being placed on it. To around the rock, and then he sort of very slow tensions it back on itself, puts in a good trucker's hitch. Not that there's truckers. You put in a hitch to secure it in place, and then tension it bit by bit until the whole rope is just hovering a few inches above the water.
Oh, Shadow. Well done, Siegfried. And
Yeah, I'll
seems
wait.
secured.
I actually have to step away for a little bit, but Siegfried will just help whoever's crossing the best he
No,
can.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I will turn
Words
to
of
the other.
encouragement and a nice smile.
I'll go first because I think I'm the heaviest of all of us, and if it can hold me, it surely can hold all of you.
Go ahead and make me an athletics check with advantage as you cross.
Come on.
Nice, very good. Takes you about 5 minutes. The water is very cold. It is early spring, but this seems to have not realized the fact that it is early spring. Late spring. It still feels as if it's coming out of winter. Thornbush Bluffs, you know that at a higher location. You figure this probably comes from an underground spring, maybe, or maybe from rainwater. It's tough to tell, but it is cold. You get a little bit in your mouth. It's not great tasting, but it's potable as far as you know. But you make your way across after about 10 minutes or so of hand over hand pulling easily. The dog
Alright.
just hops in and paddles over, following you, ignoring the
Boy.
rope entirely.
I think it's secure to cross. Next.
Helaras follows, crossing over as well.
Tell him,
Yeah, go ahead.
go on ahead.
Willem,
helmet.
athletics check, please.
Athletics. I was gonna say, well, we'll dive in and go swimming.
Sure. If you're using the rope, you get advantage.
You said athletics?
Yep.
Sorry, let me hit it again. Keep forgetting to put on the advantage.
Oh, good. 17. Once again, it takes about 10 minutes. You swim a little bit, then realize, grab the rope, hold on for a moment, take your breath, recuperate for a sec, and then go back to swimming. Not as much hand over hand dragging yourself across like Dunnan. You rely more on your own power through the water, but it is quite brisk. And you and Dunnan and Siegfried are all soaked to the bone.
Water is
And all the
quite
rest.
nipply and brisk.
It's very refreshing. I'm all woken up now. Could do with some
Ellis.
fire.
Ellis, I need a athletics check from you, please.
Aeolus is going to untie this side of the rope
Okay.
so that we can take the 2 lengths of rope with us.
Okay.
I will then hoist it around myself, and I will cast levitate on myself, and I will tell them to pull.
Okay.
Go off!
Very slowly, you pull the Aeolus kite over the water. Dunnan, your beard has icicles in it. But
Boy.
about 5 minutes later, you are safely across the river as well, Aeolus. Not wet at all. Until the pup climbs out of the water and does a ferocious shake and splatters all of you with more water.
Yeah, that's what you get for showing off.
If I didn't do that, we would have lost 100 feet of rope. Now at least we can keep it.
Well, I need some fire to get me warmed up, otherwise I'm gonna freeze my balls off here.
It's still midday.
Well, we can follow this up.
The rest of the day proceeds. A few hours pass. A couple miles, about maybe 2 miles fall away underfoot. You come to a much smaller stream, not more than 10, 15 feet across. This one is easily forded. It's not more than maybe 4 feet deep at any point. As you cross to the far side of it, you see the trail of smoke, telltale of a camp, slightly to the north of you. By your reckoning, this should be the Orcish clan.
About how far off is it?
Less than half a mile.
Okay. Well, are we ready?
So, how are we gonna approach this? I would think just open-minded, not provocative.
You have about
Aeolus will look to
2 hours to
Siegfried
sunset at this point.
and Hellerest. I think we should let one of them speak.
That is probably a good idea.
I was thinking that we could just go in and show them how powerful we are and demand that they help us.
That is a very bad idea.
Ah, I get it. Willem the Conqueror.
No. Isn't that an orc thing? Show your power, beat up the toughest guy.
Make me a history check.
Or girl.
I would say if you're an orc, maybe. But since we are of elven descent, of dwarvish descent, and what I am, we would die.
Oh,
we
As
have
you're
Teleras
speaking,
beat him up?
as you're speaking, the pupper now finally dry, thanks to William, just goes, and it's just a poof ball.
Oomph.
Wait a minute.
Well-
Okay, hold on. I have to ask. Is the pup like I understand that the pup is like celestial or fey in a manner of speaking. So if the pup were to be taken out, is that it? Is the pup forever?
Oh, that just takes
No?
me like an hour, and I can
Oh.
resummon him.
Oh, thank
do you
the
think?
gods. Listen,
What do you
I
think?
was frightened to take the pup.
You thought I
Sir.
found him?
I really don't put it past you.
Well, I have some drunken stories with deer and animals, but that would be quite the adventure. No, I can conjure him if I want. Rest assured.
Okay. That makes me feel much better.
Nevertheless, Willem, for your question, we don't wanna overthrow their leader. We just need information. So I don't think we should be going in there guns blazing or demanding like a duel with their leader or something. Let's try the diplomatic approach this time. I know, coming from me, that's a little rich, but
Maybe we
Rich,
can offer them some
I
trade.
understand gold. Sorry, Sam.
Yeah, you're fine. Perhaps we can offer something to trade.
well, I think Helivrest has the best idea on what orc tribes consider a gift.
Well,
I mean,
I hate to
food's
break
never
it
a
to
bad
you.
idea. Weapons. I don't know. I didn't spend any time with them. Like, I might look like them, but it doesn't mean I know their customs.
But so we are clear, the dog is not for sale or for, I don't know, picking apart or anything.
Oh,
We
no,
got
no,
lots
no.
of bacon.
We also have lots of alcohol.
And don't we have that troll head? Didn't we bring that head from the troll?
You do, yeah.
So
Well,
like
we can offer that.
when Hellerast went through the river, did it like clean off the slogging skin of the head?
It's okay.
Okay.
It's
I
just
imagine
okay.
it stinks.
It's been 2 days since it's been killed. And it's sort of gotten a wash on the second day. It's okay. It's not great, but it's not bad.
Certainly hope that the troll wasn't one of theirs.
I don't think so. At least we can display our physical prowess by showing them the troll head. Maybe they are impressed by that. Otherwise, we have to come up with something on the spot.
Yeah. Well,
So,
let's approach before the sun fully falls.
All right.
let's not overthink
Zach,
it.
sorry about that.
Okay. You push towards the camp. The smell of the fire wafts towards you, and you can hear the sounds of shouting and a large camp. Doesn't seem to be in any type of distress though, and you can hear the sounds of yipping and high-pitched barks, punctuated through part of the space, and the rattle of a few chains. As you approach, you see about a dozen orcs have call out in their tongue, warning of intruders, and then a particularly tall fellow stands forward. Hold! Hold! They look friendly. As he lowers the greatsword that he had at the ready until he can sort of just rest his arm on the guard of it, like an armrest. He gestures to you in a friendly manner. Well met! How are you? What? It's not much we get visitors. What be your business with the Skyfire clan?
I say, I purposely I lay my spear and my staff on the ground, like horizontally, to make it obvious that I'm not reaching for it. And then I'll wave my hands open-handed to him, and I'll be say, my name is Siegfried. This is Aeolus, Dunnan, Willem, Helirest. We're here on a mission from the forgot the name of the watch. I just keep calling the watch the Blackburn Watch. Was about to say Blackfire Watch. We're on a mission here from the Blackfire Watch.
Nope.
I was Blackburn Watch. And we were hoping to trade information.
My name's Kotkel, but you can call me Jolly. Welcome.
Yeah, I'd also point to Helirest. I forgot to introduce Helirest to that. This is also
you said. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, come on in, quick, before the sun goes down. Got a little while still, maybe an hour or two.
Yes. I could.
We're
feel
about
it
to have
coming.
supper.
Thank you for the hospitality. We graciously accept.
By all that's right, pick up your damn weapons.
You're very friendly to strangers. I didn't expect that, but I'll take it.
I
And it trade's good trade these times. Come on in.
How heavy is that? And Aeolus will motion to the sword that he carries.
Not light. Really good for
I've-
getting through bone.
I've never seen anything quite that size.
He gestures to the pommel.
What she said.
It's all about the balance. As you see a large, almost mace-sized orb at the pommel. As he leads you in, I need a perception check from everybody, please.
Have we had rest yet or no?
Not since you've crossed the rivers, no.
It's
Okay.
getting dusk or evening, you said.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, about maybe an hour and a half until sundown. Okay.
No rolls when it matters.
Dunnan, you notice off to the left, near the entrance here where you came in, there's a paler skinned orcish woman that's just sort of laying a bundle of wildflowers down by the Bill, we're getting some feedback on the mic. Laying a bundle of flowers down by the edge of the trees in this area. As she places them down. There we go. I think he can unmute himself. As she places down, she seems quite sad, and Jolly sees you looking. Says, "Pay her no mind, or at least be not a bother. Her brother was lost on a hunt during the winter. Whole group
Yes.
was out during a
Sorry to hear that.
pretty rough blizzard. Rough as we've seen in years. Almost 2 10-day blew. They never came back. Whole company missing. 4 of them.
Whole company.
No, 4.
E-
Normal hunting party.
Experienced hunters.
Yeah, good people. But any loss cuts pretty deep in the clan, let alone 4 at once. And she's still cut up over it, rightfully so.
Found a strange troll holding camp a little ways to the west of here, but we dealt with it and we didn't see any of your band.
Okay. Trolls sometimes wander these parts, but they're usually not too much of a bother. They tend to be solitary creatures. Glad that you dealt with it, though. It's good to know. You didn't happen to bring any of the meat, did you?
I
Well,
showed
just
them
the head.
smell, and AO has harvested some things, but it's for personal use, I believe.
Ah, okay. Not to worry.
Was
as
a
he
tough
leads...
guy, you can tell you. You
Okay.
had quite a lot of victims already under
Oh.
his belt.
Good to
I
have him
have
out of the
heart if you
wildlands.
want the heart.
Those things are cursed, friend. Don't ever
Oh.
partake of that.
See, that's
here.
what happens if you take everything, Eolas.
All of you, I'd like you to meet, this is Ivald. As he approaches the large fire that has a few pots sort of stacked around it in a circle, such that it's cooking many pots of some type of stew. He gestures to an older fellow that's wearing a wolf pelt, bent quite low with age. He probably stands maybe 5'2". He sort of has a perpetual frown on his face. His eyes are sunken. The lids are low. Quite old. As he looks at you. Hello! Welcome to the clan's grounds. We're not usually here this time of year, but you managed to find us nonetheless. Not many can do this. Did you bring any offerings for us?
I have a troll skull. We also have some liquor.
Liquor. We like liquor.
I nod to Willem. Why don't you break out some of that ale?
We lost Willem.
Oh, we lost Willem. I just say Dunnan. Why don't you handle that?
They're good ale, but well, it's for a good reason. And the more the merrier. And I'll take out the... What's a cork? No.
The small cask of the liquor, or the larger
No,
cask of the
the-
ale?
The barrel
The barrel?
we
Okay.
have. Yeah.
Pull out this
I
barrel
think
from
there
the
should be enough for...
bag of holding. Oh my! He walks over to one of the structures and says, "Place it here for me, please."
I would help Dunnan move it if he needed it. Or
Where to?
Yeah. Thank you. I sort of gets it and then sort of wobbles it inside the structure. Sort of Penguin walks it in.
I give a sad look, looking after it. Seeing it carried away.
we'll buy more, Dunnan. Don't
Oh,
worry.
there goes my ale. Boy.
Jolly's just chuckling to himself. Oh, yep, that's Ivald for you. Here. As coming out of the large structure, another orc greets you. There we go. Token layer. Hello, new friends. I welcome you to the troubles of the Skyfire clan. Be well met nonetheless. Jolly sort of bows his head for a moment and places his hand upon his chest. Chief Frothy, these individuals were approaching the front of the camp as sundown approached. I thought better than to bring them in than leave them outside any longer than would be necessary. It's fine, Jolly. Return to your post. Jolly heads off. Chief
I
Frothy
introduced us. Sorry.
is a slim but relatively fit-looking orc. And he wears woolen garments dyed in plaid patterning. Many members that you notice after seeing this of the Skyfire clan that you've seen around have accents to their garments of the same tartan patterning that the chief wears, but few wear a full garment. He carries a battle axe and an eye at his heavy-looking belt, and a collection of throwing axes strapped to his person in various bases. He's as clean-shaven as could be expected, and dark-haired. There's a soft seriousness to his face that still carries through a compassion. His furrowed brow seems plastered on. Set into the apex above the entrance to his home, which he'll describe later as a bashla, B-A-S-H-L-A, is a large, because he's standing underneath it, you notice it, large, blue, white, oval crystal that has what appears to be a series of web-like imperfections on the interior of it. Here's the handout for Chief Frothy.
Siegfried
Thank
kind
you.
of stops in his track when he sees that stone, and is just like staring at it.
It would be
Thank you. That's all.
wrong of me to not ask your own names as well, travelers. From where do you hail, and how might I be able to help you?
I apologies that I got distracted, but I think we're in the right spot. But my name is Siegfried. This is Willem, Aeolus, Dunnan, Halirast. Some of us are members of the Blackburn Watch. Others are volunteers, but we were sent here to hopefully gain some information, and maybe even help each other.
They call us the Bloody Mad Dogs, where we come
Yes,
from.
Yes, the name of our band is the Bloody Mad Dogs.
Muddy Bloody Mad Dogs.
Yes.
No, just the Bloody Mad
Oh,
Dogs.
Bloody.
Not Muddy.
Bloody Mad Dogs. Understood.
Yeah.
Well,
And is that a Bodemall stone?
what?
I point to the stone at the top of the archway.
Not sure what you're talking about. That's one of the symbols of our clan. It's been passed down from chief to chief. But please, you are our guests. Allow us to show you some hospitality. You may
Very kind.
sup here. He holds open the curtain to his butt. Whilst you stay with us, you're welcome to stay within my bashla. I open it to you.
Thank you very much, Chief Frothy.
Perhaps in a moment.
Because Frothy's fine.
Perhaps when you're available, I can speak to you regarding our mission.
We can speak over food.
Okay, understood.
She leads you in. The interior is carpeted in pelts of various creatures, knitted thresh mats that have been rolled out that sort of peek out from underneath some of these hides to provide some padding to the ground, with even a light bit of spring to the step as you move into the space. There is warmth within here, and 2 lanterns illuminate the interior that are gently glowing inside in perfectly encapsulated teardrops of glass. There's Willem. Hello, Willem.
Hello.
You all good?
Could we take a quick break?
Yeah. I think our
Sorry.
mid-session break would be a good time for this as you enter Chief Frothy's bashla.
Cool.
All right.
Cool.
It's 20 after about 5 minutes. Sounds good?
Yes.
Yep.
In a bit.
Alrighty. All right. As Chief Rothi leads you into his boshla, or lets you into the boshla, you see another paler-skinned orcish woman with silver white hair, seated there, tending to a wound on another member of the clan. As she finishes dressing it. Guests, more mouths to feed. Frovi,
Does that person require healing?
it's fine. New friends, this is Gundlang. She is our village healer and my sometimes slightly rude mate.
It's all right. If it helps, we brought our own provisions. We can keep to that. You don't have to worry about us.
And we brought a barrel of ale as a gift,
Oh, fantastic. We'd love to have it.
which was
I think that will
tragic for me to part, but alright.
So who knows where that is?
Hard for you to part when I think. Did we only pay for that out of pocket, or was it guild or group money?
Ivold will, Frothy will say to Gundelang, could you please go check to see if Ivold tricked these people? She nods and gets up and leaves.
Yes, I believe we were tricked, but not the worst.
Ivold likes to play that prank on travelers, and Jolly plays into it as well. He pretends to be me.
I mean, what better way to scope out new arrivals?
Aye. But please, supper will be served soon. Let us speak, as he gestures around the bashla. Sit wherever you feel comfortable. You said you had a directive to bring you here.
Yes, we've been on a series. Well, something bad is going on in Elderthorn, and we've been investigating it. And during our individual ventures, things keep pointing back to the ancient history of the orcs. For instance, that's not the first time I've seen a stone like that. An enemy of Elderthorn was using a stone such as that to potentially summon something from another plane here. I didn't know it. At the time, we didn't know it had to deal with a chieftain or if it was passed down in the clan. We just saw it as a power source.
It's been a symbol of the Skyfire clan for centuries. And not of whatever name you ascribed to it, but I can speak to something ill that's been happening, not just where you come from. You said Elderthorn. The ill things happen all over. We're never. There's a reason Jolly brought you within the camp.
Yes,
Before.
I imagine what the cold weather is a part of it.
The cold is a symptom. It comes every night.
Well, when we found out what the stone was, we used it to open a gateway. This gateway led us over the Cloudspire Mountains to a city called Urkrit. And I point towards, I sort of signal Dun and show him the basher.
Take out the flail and lay it in front of me.
As far as we could tell, Urkrit was once an orc city, but there are no orcs there anymore.
Orcs do not settle cities. We travel mostly. There's very few of us that do not live a nomadic lifestyle. Of those I know, most reside between Armskirk and Elderthorn. Some to the more northern settlements, and they operate in a more hybrid style, staying nearly half a year or more in one location, then traveling the rest. But our kin do not settle cities.
Not even in past history.
No recognition of the name Urkrit.
That is a orcish word. But the means nothing in the name of a city.
What does it mean in Orcish?
It means hearth.
Hearth.
A permanent fire pit that you use to keep a home warm through long winters and cold nights.
Would suit the environment there because it was blazing hot there.
It was in a desert.
There's a desert not too many leagues to the north of here, about a dozen. Although it stretches all the way to the Cloudspine Mountains. To the north of that would be the Greater Steppe. A few other tribes roam the steppe itself. But none venture into the desert. It's certain death. No food, no hunt,
Yes.
no water. I have a favor to ask of you in exchange for the clan's hospitality this evening. And you're welcome to stay for more nights than one if you so choose to.
When I entered the town, I saw a woman laying down some flowers, and Jolly mentioned that you had a recent loss.
We've had
Has that something to do with that?
recent loss, yes, and we had lost a team of hunters over the winter. Unconnected though. The woman you speak of, she was likely mourning her brother, one of the hunter group, but the losses we've experienced recently are of what I would ask your favor.
If it's something we can help with, we are more happy to help.
At least for tonight, it would be appreciated. We don't allow any of our members outside the camp approaching sundown. Each night, we've been beset by specters approaching from the trees. They start about an hour after the sun goes down. They bring cold with them, like the first frost of winter, biting. They linger for sometimes an hour, sometimes several, before, on a signal we've not been able to place, they approach the encampment. I don't know if you noticed, most of it is away from the road, but we've set up battlements and encampments. This is our winter grounds. We're never here this late into the year. But to travel with the full clan would risk no defenses.
Do the specters harm you in any way? Or are they just there, watching?
They start out watching. Then it gets worse. Oh, our food.
While he's talking, I'll look at the Olas, but don't say anything.
As
Not to.
as the bowls are brought in of a hearty stew, looks to be a few bits of venison and root potatoes. It's a thick soup, but a lot of it's broth. As he takes a small sip from the broth and lets it go down for a moment, he continues. When they approach our encampment, the only defensible area within several days' travel from here for the clan, they begin to assail us. Some conjure fire in their hands and will try to land it upon the Bashla on the outskirts. We've taken to coating them with water the night in the hour before dusk, soaking them to try to prevent fire from spreading. Anything flammable is at risk. Others wander near and try to attack our defenders. We're strong, and we've not lost any to wounds, thanks in no small part to Good Lung efforts, but she's stretched thin with injuries every night. Although since the attacks have started, close to 410 days ago, a bit over a month, we've lost nearly a dozen men and women and one young girl. The first one we lost, a man. We didn't even realize he was missing until the morning. His friend was unable to find him. We searched the entire clan. No body. We searched the woods surrounding. Nothing. They're just missing. After that, we started doing head counts every morning. Never a body. There's no blood. They're just vanished. We think these creatures are stealing our people away. Everyone's on high alerts to prevent these thefts, but as of yet, we've been unsuccessful in doing so. It does not happen every night, someone going missing, but our numbers are dwindling. We number 30 families strong within the clan, and nearly all of us have been touched by this loss. And everyone has been seen the effects of it. I ask of you this favor. In exchange for your hospitality and safety this evening, we ask that you help us defend our camp for just tonight. It would be a fool's errand to try to wander through the wilderness at this point of the evening.
I believe
Are
it's
any indication where they come from? Any idea?
Our back here lies to the stream that is present. It's a source of our water and why we can soak the bashla. The creatures don't cross it, but they come from all other directions. We tried to hire help. We sent a runner, one of our best, to Amskirk. They returned 4 days later, with a specialist, a dragonborn woman from the Order of the Iron Fang, said they were the specialists. She was missing the following morning.
How long ago?
That was 210 maybe slightly more. The specters, when we are capable warriors. We have skirmishes with other clans now and then. The specters, when they're cut down, they leave no corpses in the morning light. As the sun rises, any remains, even if things that they carried, turn to ash and dissipate to nothing.
Have we heard of anything like this?
Make me a history, religion, or arcana check, your choice. Doesn't sound like that the turning to ash doesn't sound quite like the decay that you've seen previously. With other things. It evokes the same thoughts, but based on the description that Frothy gives you, it doesn't sound to be the same as what happened to Frohen T-Dance, the physician, or the remains of Batiana, who bones still remained, and from what it sounds like, nothing remains of these specters.
and their one didn't seem to be affected by sunlight.
They're
At least we will test it.
We've never had them in the sunlight. Only they retreat before the sun rises. About half an hour or so after they retreat, the temperature starts to come back. From this chill that's present.
Are there any ruins nearby?
Not nearby, no. Thankfully, we've not had anybody killed by these monsters, but the other issue that's pressing upon the clan is our food supplies. I apologize for the stew. It's a bit thin. As it grows more scarce, our fighters, we take shifts over the evening. They last. Once the attack stops, it doesn't starts. It does not stop until about an hour before sunrise. Once they start, it doesn't stop. We are weaker every night. The food is a little bit thinner. We're not in danger of going thirsty, thanks to the streams here, but any hunters we send out are at great risk if they are away, and it also costs us fighters for that evening. We've overhunted and overfished the land for leagues around. There's been no... The last piece of good food we got was bear about 2 months ago, and it's just about dry.
I may not be able to help with the hunting, but at least with the harvesting of local flora, if you give me some time, I may be able to help you with that.
Very few plants of sustenance grow in this area. Most of the crops we carry are foraged further north in the warmer months.
I understand this won't be a permanent solution, but it'll be at least a stopgap. It may help.
Any help you might be able to render would be appreciated.
You're passing out walking bacon during this whole discussion to whoever wanders by.
Yes.
Well, you're inside the Bashla, so nobody.
So whoever's there, if you will.
Sure. Sorry, say again. Well, Alos?
A specialist that you brought in,
Yes.
did they leave anything behind? Their pack? Any supplies?
No, not even their traveling gear, now that you mention it. Pack and all was gone.
Go anywhere? Did they mention that they're going out to investigate, or did
No,
they stay here?
they were hired to solve this problem. We don't keep much coin, we mostly trade, and the coin that we did have, we provided to her.
Understood. Well, we can help you make the defense. I believe that is acceptable, right, Aeolus?
I'll warn you to be careful. We don't know, and no one's even noticed how these haunts are abducting our kin. One of our members was 15-year-old girl. She vanished from inside her own Bashla. She was not a fighter. Just gone
People
when the
just
sunlight came.
vanish. They have to walk. They have to travel somehow.
We've tried to... We are skilled in the world around us. Please don't think we're not.
No. Oh no. I wasn't implying that. These creatures that have been plaguing you. They have to have some method of getting them out. Of keeping them somewhere nearby.
Perhaps.
Okay.
I need to warn you of one other thing that has unsettled some of my kinfolk. I know not if it will matter to you. I was unable to speak with my friend from the Iron Fang, as she was not here for a full night. But clan members who get a close look at these apparitions, they swear the following morning were seeing the faces of long-gone friends and loved ones in the faces of these specters. makes it a little bit difficult to cut down something attacking you when it bears the semblance of lost kin. I don't know if it will be of an effect to you, but these things, it's like they're trying to worm their way into your mind, riddle with guilt, so you do not cut them. It is difficult.
It's like a horror story you tell your children.
I would not wish to tell any of my offspring a story such as this.
I can imagine.
What
So,
the
is there
I dealt with.
So we're on the wall where we need it the most.
Are you... I mean, no offense. Are you well-bodied? Are you able to adequately protect yourselves in the wilds? You strong warriors.
we got here by ourselves, so we're more
You
than
did kill
capable
a
enough.
troll. That is not a task for nothing. Maybe having fresh eyes might be helpful.
Is there any specter that stands out, or
There are several seeming types that approach. Particularly large ones. Pardon me. Let me grab my notes. There are ones that are particularly large, maybe 9 feet in height. They're the ones that conjure and throw motes of flame upon the Bashla, or, if you are unlucky enough, upon you. Smaller things with wounds and broken limbs approach in large numbers. And then there are others which seem to linger in the midst of groups. We know not what they do yet. They've not been directly assaulted as of yet. Foraying into a throng of these things would be certain death. If
maybe taking them out is the key, or at least hinders them in some way?
perhaps, there are things that we need to protect within the clan's camp as well. We cannot let the specters reach our hyenas. They are what allow us to live this nomadic lifestyle. They pull our sledges and carts, and are used as hunting companions during the warmer months. Additionally, we cannot let them... we need to do everything we can to try to prevent one of our members from being taken. We dwindle already, and every life saved will be worth its weight in successive nights. They come every night. I'm sure you noticed the clan was mostly quiet as you approached. Everyone sleeps during the day now, to be ready for the horrors that darkness brings.
He will help.
And the storms finally come. He looks up at the ceiling of the Bashla, and about 20 seconds later, you hear the sounds of raindrops impacting upon the surface of it.
When it starts, when these specters start to appear, the temperature falls? Or is that how it starts?
Always. It's always cold before they arrive. Bitingly so.
And again, look at Eolus. I don't say anything. Well, as Eolus said, we're gonna help you defend your camp. But I think you can't stand here if this continues.
We can't
Even
travel.
I know.
Please understand. I would have the clan move if we could. But the hyenas are starving. We can barely feed them, let alone ourselves. We sustain ourselves on them. If they die, we die. If we leave what is our winter defended home, we stay here for 4 months. We've been here now 7. And there's nowhere within 2 or even 3 days hard travel that we could have mount half the defense. If these specters followed us, we would be picked off like rats.
That's what I meant. It's gonna be a slow death if you stay here, but I look to the others.
Is this area the only place that you've been assailed by the specters?
They started 1 month and a 10-day ago, roughly. We've been here since late last year. Yes. One of our hunters that got caught outside the camp as sun fell described the feeling of cold come over them when they were about a mile from here. He swam down the river for that last mile. And half delirious by the time he arrived, he managed to make it back, but they knew of his presence somehow.
Going back that month and a week, is that when we came across everything initially?
Going back about a month and a week, a month and a 10-day. 3 10 days to a month, so about 40-ish days. It's a little bit before the opening of our campaign.
Okay.
The word of the spring melt came about 35 days ago.
Okay.
Actually, with the travel, probably close to 40. So that's when activity started in Elderthorn again, once the logging camp could get up and running again. Because about a quarter of Elderthorn's workforce are associated with the logging camp in some regard, whether up at the camp or down in Elderthorn, as the logs come down the Troll Run. So once that news came that the waters had melted and it was passable, the areas were passable again after the heavy snow, that's when everything sort of picks up. About that same time, if you backtrack all the way. So it seems like roughly since the tail end of winter, they've been getting attacked like this. And it has trapped them in this place.
I have one more question for you before we start to set up for ourselves.
Yes.
Do you remember the name of the specialist?
Gunlang might have it. One moment. Who said it? Gunlang! The woman from the Iron Fangs. Iron Fang. What was her name? Name was Finthobra. Purple. Amethyst in coloration. She was dragonborn. I'll put that text in chat for you.
Armskirk.
Someone you know, Aeolus?
You could say that.
Another
Long
plus.
lost love.
I will assure you that the Order of the Iron Fang will see to your Spectre problem.
Aren't you
Not all
bold
of
making
us.
those promises, Aeolus?
Not all of us made it up to Armskirk. And I'll head out of the tent.
Please let me after your captain. He's not quite sure what rank Aeolus is amongst the group of you, but
It's
Brooke,
not
just...
the captain. I am. But
Okay. Please follow your compatriot. I'll show you to what I hope you might be able to defend.
not sure what that was now, but I think we got a glimpse of Aeolus's past. And I head after him.
Okay. As you exit the tent, the rain is coming down. It's not a heavy downpour, but it's constant. As you look around, we're going to move into a little bit more mechanical at the moment. So there are arrayed around the camp. If you zoom out, you should be able to see. There are groups of orcs in sets of 4. There are 2 sets of 4 for each color pip on the map. There are 5 sets of color pips. So, as the group of you array for this clan camp defense, each of you, in addition to your own characters, will get to direct these 2 groups of orcs. 1 set of orders per group of 4. You have a macro set up that's called Skyfire Phalanx. If you want to tick the in bar, it'll show up across the bottom of your page. And it will look like this when rolled. They have battle axes as a melee option. If the group of 4 is in melee with anything, if one of them is, all of them can attack. And they carry slings as well with 30-foot range. Once again, you just have to draw 30 feet from any of the 4 members of each group to be able to have a target within range. They won't benefit from things like fairy fire. It's very straightforward. You just get to direct how they move, 30 feet per round, and where their fire is chosen to be directed. So, Chief Frothy will show you around the map. So there's the purple group here that has a cliff, sort of ledge, not really a cliff, about 10 feet in height, and then they defend. There is the orange group to the due south of where your group is. Let's zoom out appropriately. There we go. To the south, right there. Can you guys see my measuring tool? Yeah.
Yep.
Wonderful. All right. There is the green group, which help guard the main entrance, which is one of the least well defended areas because it is connected to the trail, which is right here. So they tend to use the axe more, but it's entirely up to your direction. There is the blue group that are bordering to the forest, no telling what they face normally. And there's the red group, who look relatively north along the stream. It's about 10-15 feet wide, that guards the area to the back of Chief Frothy's Bashla. This, to the left here, is the hyena pit, where their mounts and beasts, the effective beasts of burden that this clan uses, are all tethered with chains and like dog sled chains, effectively, to just keep them from freaking out and fleeing. And then they're in a pit, so they can't see what's going on, so they're not spooked as easily. So who wants to control which group?
Oh boy. I'll take the orange one.
Orange? Sure, go ahead. Helleras is getting default last.
I will take purple.
Purple? Okay. Gonna move. Yep. Perfect. And Dunnan, you said you're taking the orange to the south here?
Yes.
Wonderful. Willem, any preference for you? Willem, you're muted.
Yeah, I lost audio for a little bit. I was trying to fix it. Sorry, what was it?
Which group would you like to command? There's green, blue, and red remaining along the eastern front.
Ooh, totally green.
Green? Okay. Go ahead and slide your token down to meet with them. Gotcha. Okay. And, Aeolus, what would you like?
Aeolus will march towards the blue.
Blue? Alright. That puts Hellerast with the red on the northern quarter. Now that you've all gotten a view of the map, let me kick on the dynamic lighting. Okay. I believe all of you have dark vision, correct?
Yeah, blue.
Aeolus, yours is 60 feet. For some reason, your token never likes to save it. I'm getting that fixed right now.
Siegfried is going to cast dark vision on himself.
Who is?
Siegfried is going to cast dark vision on himself.
Siegfried is? Okay.
Yeah.
Noted.
Sorry,
How long does dark vision last?
8 hours, I believe.
Okay, double check that for me, please.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to put it back on my spell list because I was preparing spells earlier. 1 second. Okay. Yep, I have to drag it back on my sheet. 1 second.
There we go. Yep, 8 hours. Fantastic. All right. So, there are a few torches around camp. I'll pull them out in a moment. They're mostly on the interior, though, towards Furthy's area. Furthy is going to aid in the initial defense, so let me grab his token. If I'm on the correct layer. He will stand in the front with Willem. And he'll explain, Jolly is taking second shift tonight. That way he can get some rest ahead of time. He does accompany each of you to your commands, so to speak. And he gives the instructions that they are to follow your orders as appropriate, as needed, as if they were coming from him directly. Try to get an outside perspective, but don't be foolhardy with said orders and sacrifice any of his men and women. Right. Do any of you have any preparations besides the dark vision as the sun sets? The rain is still coming down.
No. I'll just near the hyenas, I guess, on the corner of the pen, I would place a kami charm. Just try and pray to the kami to keep the hyenas safe.
Okay.
and I'll do a religion check. Not the best one, but just in case.
I will cast Arm of Agassiz on myself at 2nd level.
That lasts for an hour.
Yes.
Are you going to hold that until you see them start to
Yeah,
approach?
until I feel that cold breeze coming.
So the
yeah.
chief did give you the heads up. The cold approaches signals that they're near, but sometimes
okay.
they wait an hour. Sometimes they wait
Okay.
no time at all. Sometimes it's 3 hours before they assail.
And I'll
They vary, but you could
until
hold
I
it.
see one approaching. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Noted. As the night stretches onwards, about 40 minutes after sunset, darkness covers the village. You can hear the cough here and there of some of the clan members. You can hear a child crying. Another half hour passes, and you see ahead of your faces, your breath starts to show. Torches around the camp center are lit, and the fire's continuously stoked.
How do they fight? Aeolus will ask the 8 orcs that he is with.
Like demons, some carry swords or axes. Others, fingernails sharp as blades. They don't stop coming, too. You gotta really hack them up. And that's the easy ones. Another one of them chimes in. The worst ones are the big ones. They throw motes of fire. If it sticks to you, catch your clothes alight. Gonna have to strip. Be ready. Sort of shows you a nasty burn scar along one of his thighs that must have gotten caught. Got right bit close, if you know what I mean. But don't worry, the rain's a good thing. It'll mean the Bashla are safe. Relatively.
If I'm able to, can I use Hunter's Bane to try to recall anything that I may have been taught?
Sure. Hunter's Bane. From the description that you're given, it sounds like he's speaking about undead of some variety.
And we see a large one. I will try my best to try to stop it in its tracks.
Don't worry, you won't miss them. They glow. As the evening progresses, the chill grows bitingly cold, and the rain around you slows. Snowflakes are falling on the group of you. Pricks of light appear in the forest, staggering closer, shambling. I'd like all of you to roll into initiative, please.
There
Nice.
Green, red, purple, orange. I'm missing blue. Okay. Get Hellarest's initiative. 15. Who else are we missing in initiative at the moment?
I think Willem rolled, but he's not in the tracker.
Oh, no. 18.16. Alright.
Dylan,
Willem,
does
you're
your-
controlling green.
why did your initiative?
Aeolus, you're controlling blue.
I used the macro hotbar.
Oh, okay. I was like, what? How'd you do that?
Yeah. Alright. Hellarest is controlling red. So she
I like
gets.
it because you don't have to click on your token to do that.
Oh,
You just hit the token initiative and it rolls.
you know, we've been playing on Roll20 for how long, and I never knew that was there.
Siegfried. I added it there.
What did you guys use? I'm curious now.
If you go to the macros, and you check off the ones that say in bar, there's a macro that says token initiative. So instead of clicking on your token and then rolling initiative, you can just hit that, and it rolls you in.
Yep.
How can I
Wow.
delete something from the quick bar? Never figured that out.
You go to macros and you tick it. Tick the
Yeah,
remove in bar.
But if I have,
Oh,
okay, but yeah.
so if you hover over it at the bottom, where until you see like sort of the dark tab on the right hand side, grab that tab and then drag it all the way off the bar, and it'll vanish.
Nope. Oh, never mind.
Okay. So I think I have this set. Wonderful. Need to make sure your initiative is correct. Okay, I don't need this notes up anymore. Let me jump to the GM layer and bring some things onto the map. I think that's everything. Wonderful. I'm going to make some copies for initiative trackers. And I apologize in advance, there's a lot of NPCs. That's why you guys get to control some of them. Initiative.
Yeah, this bit reminds me of the beginning of Storm King's Thunder a little bit. When you're defending the giant attack.
So this goes after Aeolus.
I remember that bit. That was a frightening fight.
Yeah,
This bit goes after Willem.
they're just throwing boulders at you while you're running around.
And
I
then
remember-
this thing takes tail end.
I remember trying to go 1v1 against one of the giants when
Okay.
we played.
Dunnan, mark off the use of your armor of
Or I
Agathis.
did.
Fantastic. Okay. As these things get closer and closer, Aeolus, your group here, the blue members of the Skyfire clan, have their weapons ready. They look to you as you begin to act and say, "Orders, sir." What do you do, and what do you tell them to do?
Aeolus is going to move up because he saw the corner of something. And Aeolus, as a bonus action, is going to activate Blood Curse of the Binding, and he's going to amplify it and aim at this creature.
The big one? Okay.
Yep, but I have to move closer. So 5.
That's a con save or wisdom save?
That is a strength save.
Strength save. Fantastic.
That is a no bueno for that move. Okay. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25.
Did fail with a 13.
Alrighty.
As you step forward and more of them, you get a better view of the throng of things approaching. You see it sort of stop in place for a moment, trying to lift its leg. Its hands are ablaze at this point.
Alright. Aeolus is... Am I able to squeeze through this space? Yeah. Alright. Aeolus is going to step forward, and I will order this group to start a volley.
Sure. Within 30 feet, so they all have straight regular rolls. It's within. They can actually make the roll because it's within their range. Go ahead and use the macro for the phalanx. All right, that's the slinger volley. Pardon me. Although stinger's not bad either. They all miss, unfortunately, though. Poor rolls on their part, as they're sort of shaken by a little bit of your forthrightness and like willingness to commend them immediately, but they ready themselves for a next round. Yeah. 7, 11, 10, 11. No good.
Alrighty. I will have the others hold, and they will prepare as I step in front of this group, and will hold my action to strike one of these creatures when they come closer.
The other group's going to have their axes ready, or are they going to throw some slingshots as well? At something in front of them.
I will have them start with the slingers.
Sounds good. Go ahead and give me another shot with the Skyfire Phalanx. A couple better rolls there. This is against one of the smaller individuals. Lower AC, but 2 natural ones and a 12. The 12 just misses, but the 25 hits. So the lead one on that side takes 6 points of bludgeoning damage.
Alrighty.
All right. So that takes care of you. You're holding your action, and the blue team. Thank you. And it is the Tormentor's turn. He is his speed is 0, correct? He's not restrained. It's just speed is 0 until the end of. So it has to repeat the save, right? You didn't? Did you amplify?
Right. Yes, I did.
Okay. So I'm gonna roll for the save just preemptively. Nope, natural 1. It's staying there. It will make a single weapon attack with a burning mote. You're within 30 feet of it. It will target you. Okay. As it pulls its hand back and throws a blob of fire just within range, 30 feet, towards you. That is a 16 to hit you.
Has not hit.
Does not hit. You manage to sort of catch it on your weapon, your spear, and just sort of fling it onto the ground, carefully avoiding throwing it into the Bashla at your side. There's a corporealness to this fire. No effect. That brings us to Dunnan and the orange team. Bottom center.
Well, Dunnan will speak something like, "Steal yourselves, lad," and he will go in front of them.
Okay.
25, yeah.
I'm rolling for the Tormentor towards you as well, Dunnan. Pardon me. It does approach. It sets fire to the close Bashla. So that one is slowly starting to burn now.
Okay, I will then I will attack it because it's in my range. Yeah, get close to it and attack it. So one swing misses, I guess, with a 10.
And Willem, one of your phalanxes took a blob of fire. The leadmost orc is pretty injured.
That's rude.
Yep. Okay. 2 swings with Basher, 24 connects.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anything else that you want to dump in there, or just the 24?
Well, it was first level smite, so 2d8.
It is undead. You get a bonus.
So 3d8. Nice. Ugh.
Yeah, 10 extra down there. That is... okay. 10, 12, 13, 23 points of damage. It's looking rough from that first blow. Pretty good, hefty one on there.
And can I order the orcs to put out that fire?
You can have one... Yeah, sure. You can have one of them work to put out the Boschla. They'll do nothing else this round.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, and the others to throw slings at the one at the south.
The one at the south of you, so you don't get swarmed?
Yeah, the small one. Yeah.
Right, it's within range, and your other ones will put out that fire. So they spend their round doing so. And then slingshots, 25 and 18 both hit. Those 2 slingshots almost take down that shambling one. 12 points of damage, very good. Almost got the crit too.
Stand tall, don't falter. That's it.
Nice. Willem, around to you.
Brady. Well, I'm going to yell first of all. Okay, boys. To the 4, right near him. Attack that big guy. He looks pretty mean. And I'm not sure who this is next to me, but I'm assuming it is somebody more important.
That's Chief Grothy.
Okay. Chief, could you take care of this one right here?
Got it.
And then Willem, before they would attack, would hit them with a spell. So you repull my sheet because it just crashed, of course.
Chief
we did have the chance for a long rest, right? At some point.
Not since the water, but yes.
Okay.
Not since you crossed the river.
Just wanted to make sure that I actually had a spell to cast. That was,
of course, yeah.
The point.
Ooh, nice.
So, the initial damage to this one.
Okay.
And then I'm going to link these 2.
So the bottom, the one that you have the chief targeting, and which else?
Whoever this guy is.
Oh, in the second.
They look different, so I want them to take damage as well.
Sounds good. All right, so I'm going to roll for the Tormentor first. That's the dex save. That is a 15. That is a failure. Does not seem to do as much damage as you were hoping, though. Does seem to be resistant. So it does take 15 points of necrotic damage to the Tormentor. And then the other 2 get, it is wisdom saves, correct? Oh, charisma saves, pardon me.
Or charisma, yeah, sorry.
All right, so the one in the center there rolls a 5, utter failure. And then other one, 2, also fails. Very nice. So I'm going to mark these with, we'll put like a little poison symbol on them.
That'll work.
And now, whilst just remember that if one of them takes damage, the other one takes it also. Okay. Or it takes damage as well. All right, that brings us to your green team. What orders are you providing to them?
4 that I have right here.
You have 8.
Are going to...
Yeah, you have more on this side also.
Oh, I'm sorry. Where I'm sitting, I couldn't see him.
Yeah.
So they'll all attack this kindly gentleman.
Okay, everything with the slings?
Yep.
Go for it. Topple the big one.
So I do the Skyfire phalanx on that, right?
Yep, twice. Because each one is for the group of 4. Alright, so we got 22 hits, 21, 20, and 18 all hit. So we got 4 hits in there, which is very good. So that's 24 points of damage. It is barely holding on. Very efficiently trying to topple this thing.
And then hopefully I don't see anything for the chief that would attack that.
Yeah, Chief is down at 1. I put him last in initiative.
Okay.
So that way there's 2 groups of you in between them every time. All right. That'll then bring us to the skeletons. So, pardon me for a moment. Difficult terrain. A lot of them are just going to move. These get close enough to that phalanx. Dunnan, 2 of them get close enough to you. Mm, 20. There we go. All right. I think that's. Oh, this one didn't get to move 20 yet. There we go. All right. Starting at Dunnan, who is actually threatened by some of these creatures. 2. Effectively, these are short swords. But it's a variety of weapons. 2 attacks on you, Dunnan. A 19 and a 15.
19 hits.
8 points of piercing. It is not magical. So reduced to 5.
So, and it gets 10 damage from the Armor of Agassiz.
Nice. Okay. That was the closest of the 2. So the one to the south of you is just blasted immediately apart by that frost. Solid. The Orc tribe, actually, your ones to your northeast totally defend themselves. Willem, one of your group is attacked. Natural 1, no good. Another one to your northern group is attacked. 15 just hits. Both of your Orc tribes have taken some damage so far. One of the members is about half health at this point. Alright. Then, Aeolus, you have short sword attack on you, 11. And one on your men, also 11, does not hit.
Alright, and I'm going to use my held action to attack.
Certainly. And
that
then
creature with-
one of Hellarest's members takes 4 damage as well. And I believe that is... Yep, that is all of the skeleton's attacks. Held action. Nice. 23 definitely hits. Did you activate your Crimson Right yet, or no?
Yes.
You did? Okay.
Yeah, I activated it as we were walking out of the tent.
Correct. Thank you. I was trying to think, like, wait, no, but yeah, it just lasts, so there's no timer there. Perfect. So that's 11 points of damage. That thing is barely holding on. It looks in terrible shape. You have a second attack, though.
Yep.
And as this thing slashes towards you, it's easily parried, the blade knocked aside, and up through its throat into what should be its brain cavity. You see a bit of bone go flying as your spear pierces through and it topples over, unmoving. Okay. That's going to bring us to next in order. So I'm going to be Hellerast. I'm going to roll a Skyfire Phalanx. They're going to move into the fight a little bit more. Can someone actually throw the Phalanx attack for me, please? Thank you. Perfect. I actually need 2, so that works. They easily chop down one of the undead to the south of them with battle axe strikes. And then 3 shots land on the next one here. And that is enough to down another one. Hellerast's troops are doing well. And she will... She's going to bring Corwin up me find Corwin's token. As her bonus action. And send Corwin to attack. And then we're going to be moving to Siegfried in a moment. And then she will take a defensive action. And do the dodge action. Spirit Strike does not actually hit. Bring us to Siegfried.
Siegfried, seeing the skeletons rolling up, he would tell everyone to form a line, and he would move up here.
Form a line behind you or in front of you?
No, with me. I would want them to maybe meet me, come to this square next to me, like, and then just one up as well. Or no, not the only the left side. Sorry.
Okay, so
Keep those guys where they are, and then just move these guys
like
up.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. And then I am going to go into archer form with the bonus action.
Okay. That means you shed light, correct?
Yeah. 10 feet.
Okay. Noted. Awesome. So that's your bonus action.
And then
It's
with my
10 and
bonus
10,
action-
right?
What?
It's 10 and 10.
I think, yeah, bright 10, dim 10.
Nice.
You can double check. So as soon as I activate it, I get to fire off an archer shot. So
Yep.
I'm going to try and shoot this guy.
Go for it. The one closest to you?
Yeah, the one closest to us.
Okay. 20 absolutely hit. 11 points of radiant. Terrible shape immediately.
And then I would like to pop a guiding bolt at this guy.
Okay, we'll go for it.
Just try and stop them from piling up on us.
Guiding bolt.
And I'm doing this without a spell slot. Or with
Okay,
my
one of your map.
Yeah.
17 also hits. 17 points of damage. That one is just plastered. Turns to ash and dust immediately. No sunlight needed yet.
And then I tell the other ones, fire at will! Fire for effect! And I say, focus on this one first, and then this
Don't
one.
fire at Willem.
So the group to your right can fire that one right away.
Yep.
Go
Yep.
for the roll there. Yep, one hit. That was enough. Just needed one. So that closest one is felled. And then your group to your left on the map, will fire at the second. 721, 3 hits. Nice, for 18 points of damage. That's enough to fell that as well.
And I say, good job, boys. Hold the line. There's more coming. And that is my turn.
Okay. And that'll bring us to the totemic herders. That shouldn't be there. That should be on the wall. This one has a movement speed of 20 feet. One more. I don't want to drag it. Right there. I'll describe what these things look like in a moment. All right. There we go. As these Z. Nope. Oh, it's Shift Z, isn't it? Well, since if I pull up a token for you guys. As these things draw closer, they have bits and spikes of stone and metal that have been carved, sort of implanted throughout their forms, jutting out at strange angles, covered in viscera and blood. They should not be able to walk if they were living creatures. as they shamble forward, they're quite slow by comparison to virtually everything else. Whatever this weight is upon them, it definitely slows them down. For each of them, they're going to all do the same action. The totems implanted throughout these creatures' bodies flare with a sickly red light for a moment. All other undead within 30 feet of them, all undead within 30 feet of them can move, make a single attack, make a single attack or move half their speed without provoking opportunity attacks. So, the two at Hellerast will one attack on an orc, one on the Corwin. An orc takes another 3 points of damage from her group. One approaches you, Aeolus. One approaches this group, and one attacks that group to the south of you. The group to your south, Aeolus, has taken some damage now. They took 5 points. For context, each of the orcs has 15 total, and they're being ticked down one at a time. This group collapses towards Aeolus, so they get 15 feet, 15 feet, closes in, and a short sword attack there, 12, no good. The the Tormentors, I'll do in a moment. Closes in, closes in, closes in, closes in, attack, and this one can close 15 feet. Alright, so I have a few attacks on Dunnan's group. So one attack on Dunnan, one on his 11 and 14. They're rolling really poorly, thankfully for you. And then 3 Tormentors spread throughout the map. One of them is attacking you, Aeolus.
Go.
With a burning mote. 17 to hit you.
That's my AC.
6 points of fire damage to you.
Okay.
One of them is going to attack your group to the south of you, Willem, with a burning mote. That is a 20 to hit them. One of your orcs collapses to the ground.
It's very sad.
Burning, screaming. And then finally one on you, Dunnan. As he just tries to full face you with his burning hand. 19 to hit you. That is 6 points of fire damage to you.
Yeah, and he gets 10 cold damage.
Ooh, nice.
And the ice shards explode.
I love it. Is that the end of your armor bag
Yes.
also?
Yes.
Good use.
Fades.
All right. Hey, 10 points. He's dealt 20 points of cold with its second level spell. No complaints.
Nope.
Okay. And then
Did
finally,
its job.
that's the herder's entire turn, and finally Chief Frothy will go. He's been assailed by things that you did not instruct him to attack, but he's no schmuck. He'll make 2 longsword attacks. Well, equivalent of longsword. It's his axes. 9 does not hit, but the 18 does. He cuts down one of the ones in front of him. 17 points of damage. And that'll bring us to the top of the order, where we'll pick up next week.
Woo.
Ooh.
Oh boy.
Yeah, give me very big Storm King's Thunder vibes.
It's a mess.
We'll be
At least
fine,
they're
guys.
At least they're not throwing boulders at us.
Yeah.
No, they're just throwing fireballs.
Cool. And I enjoy the battle.
Yeah. I think it's the
Too bad
first
I
time
won't
I've
be here
gotten.
next week.
I think it's the first time I've gotten to have you guys in like a big melee like this.
Uh-huh.
Definitely fun.